So, we don't know what this is going to be called. Normally, this is a podcast called Oh Well You Bastards, but considering seeing as only half the main lineup is only here today, this might be something different. Today, you have myself. My name is Martin Arguelles, and across from me is one of the main hosts of Oh Well You Bastards, Ian Carencross.
Hey, hello.
And next to me is another very special guest. She goes by the name Menti, but her real name is Sarah, and she is from
the internet.
The internet, literally from the internet.
The internet. And I also do not like that last name for some reason. I erased it from my memory.
Oh, really? Okay, well then I'm a horrible person. So we just got back from dinner with my mom, actually.
Carnitas tacos.
We got carnitas tacos. We had to deal with my slobbering crybaby niece, who is amazing. Oh gosh! And now we're here talking.
Martin got in an argument with his mom.
I got in an argument with my mom that I'm never gonna let her win. That's just me and my temperamental thing. Shit. So today, the reason it's different and the reason why Jack isn't normally here is because we decided to make this conversation all about music and a little bit of background about all of us. Ian, what's your first? Let's start with your background since you're the main host.
My background: musician, sometimes community college student, born in San Diego, raised in San Diego, traveled a lot. I like skiing and snowboarding, play guitar and piano.
Oh shit, we're getting a call. I told him not to call me.
Put the call in the podcast.
Yeah. No. All right, Ian, start off with yourself again. Tell me about yourself. Background. We're all musicians here.
I was born in a log cabin in 1852. I sailed the ocean blue.
I crossed over in 1865 from the valley.
As a Spanish conquistador.
Yes.
Which goes in line with our conversation prior to this.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
With you and your mom talking about, like, native Mexico and, like, U.S.
Yeah. Yeah, so, okay. What do you do music-wise?
Music-wise, I currently have a project called Cheap Windows, as people who are listening to this will probably already know. I kind of use the term ambient as an umbrella thing. I record piano for it, some guitar-based stuff. Some of it leans towards like math rock or emo. It's just a clusterfuck of genres.
Cool. All right. Sarah, what do you do right now?
Well, thank you for asking. I started playing music as a child, like in elementary school, playing violin and viola. Then I totally abandoned that. And then for a while, just didn't play music at all. And then recently, about 6 months ago, I started getting into electronic music production and currently working on some EPs. I have about like 30 plus songs that I've written and I have no idea what to do with them, aside from like mixing and mastering. But I guess there's like other things that need to be worked out, but that's mostly what I've been doing now. Played a couple shows. I took
a break too. I had piano lessons in elementary school, and then I didn't play for years because I had a teacher that I hated. And then I picked it up again in high school when I heard Chiodo, so I was like, I need to learn these piano lines.
No, I just started dating people, and then I was like,
yeah,
no music.
No classic wheeled out, seen not heard kind of shit. Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. So, yeah.
How about you, Martin?
I don't know. All right, let me think. So,
please give us a 38-minute description.
38-minute description of myself, and that was, we just heard some bang bangs. Yeah, no, I did, like, funny thing about me and music, it's like I do it all the time now, but like I didn't really have like any knack for it until like 14 years old. My favorite story to tell about my music is when I was in third grade, our music ensemble class picked up the steel drums and we were just going to play like Ode to Joy and a bunch of like traditional Jamaican songs. I could not for the life of me pick up pitched instruments. The idea of scales and melody just never registered to me. So what did they do with me? They put me on the back as a backup like hand drum. So like literally like I would like the ensemble would play something like dun, 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 and all I would do was that's it. Like it was very seldom. It was like classical ensemble percussion. So I just kind of like put to rest there that like I was not going to do music. And then 14 years old, I picked up a guitar and never fucking put it down. I know, so I've known Ian and I've known Sarah both around the same time, because I met Sarah on DeviantArt as an online buddy when I was 14. Then I think I ran into Ian around the same time too. So,
I remember very clearly the day we met.
Yeah, it was through Kyle, and then
the day we met was on the way to Old Town.
That's right.
Yeah, we were walking from our high school, high tech, to Old Town to like skip a bus. It's like a 2 to 3 mile walk.
Yes, and we were talking about metal or something. What were we talking about? Soma and
and Unearth.
Yes,
and At the Gates maybe.
Yes, I remember that. And then like a year later or so, like Kyle was playing in that band with you, and then we ran into each other, and then like through Sarah, we were just talking. We were just talking about like metal, and I think briefly got introduced to like electronic music, and just kind of like hovered behind us. But like for the most part, we were talking about like metal. You were like kind of had this weird obsession with Lee Dorian from Cathedral and Napalm Death. Like she used to draw this guy.
Was Cathedral the band that had the Doom song?
No.
That was Candlemass.
Yes, Candlemass.
Cathedral, I remember exactly how I met you. So, so as we said before, I had this weird obsession with musicians. And, like, I had all these, like, metal magazines, and, like, I was going through them, and then I, like, saw this band called Warbringer. I was like, oh, they look cool. And so I started, like, looking up their music and shit, and, like, DeviantArt, just, like, looking up shit. And then I, like, commented on a photo, and then Martin replied. He's like, I always get compared to the guitarist of this band. And I was like,
yeah. Oh. Yeah, because he kind of got he's the brown dude with the big Jewish nose and the curly hair. I've met that guy actually a couple times and talked to him. Nice. Like years afterwards. He's pretty chill dude.
Yeah, so. That was like the time of my life that I will not really look back on, because it is very cringy. And,
Jack was pretty active on DeviantArt and he hated it. I don't think he made any friends there.
Yeah.
I hit up all my favorite musicians and like I annoyed the shit out of them. It was pretty hilarious, but also terrible.
Mm-hmm. I was like into drawing logos. Nobody would believe that I could draw a logo from like scratch just as reference.
Yeah, I like drawing metal logos in high school too.
Yeah, and I got good at it. If I kept at it, I would have been fairly decent at it. So, but I was more interested in playing music, not drawing music. So, yeah. Oh man. So another thing like all of us right now have in common right now is like, we're all doing something like by ourselves as far as music. So Ian's got Cheap Windows, and Sarah's got like what they're doing right now. Sarah's actually been at my house the past week, and we're just hashing out their songs on Ableton Live. And what I've been doing lately is I've been getting into like composing for ensembles. So last semester I made an arrangement for a 5-piece jazz band, and I had it performed and recorded. And this semester, I'm actually trying to do it again, only with an entirely original piece. And the goal is to have it recorded and performed. And I guess the first part of this little podcast I'd like to ask is like, what has like influenced all of us to like pursue this? Because we've all like listened. We all came from like listening to like heavy metal and like hardcore punk, and now we're like kind of doing this other kind of music.
I think a motivating factor for at least you and I don't know about Sarah, but maybe you could elaborate on this, that we've dealt with shitty bandmates, and it's easier to do things by yourself. Like you can do whatever you want when you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of freedom.
Yeah, you were always the primary composer in your band. You know, one thing I noticed too was like with your bands too is like they'd always like they'd be a little annoyed by that, but at the same time they wouldn't do anything on their own. They would like so, and I'm not trying to bash anybody here, but like when like you're dealing with like a large scale project like a band or an ensemble, like there needs to be like some sort of like creative focus, and you guys need to like understand that like this is a entity bigger than yourselves, and that's always been
I think it's inevitable that there's got to be tension though, because you're dealing with 4 different people and like trying to schedule things around limited schedules, trying to get money that people don't want to spend to make a band work.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I've learned too, basically, is also like I've learned how to like have this respect for my group of people, because like these guys that I'm working with right now this semester, they're really cool, and they're like down to like play my music, but I'm also trying to be like super respectful and give them some like freedom, or some sort of freedom to like realize my songs. What about you, Sarah? What's your little motivation for
little motivation? All right. Well, playing electronic music is super easy to take on the go. So I like traveling a lot. I've been like traveling around parts of the US as of now. And it's nice to just kind of have a portable studio. And then another reason, I've always been interested in playing in bands, but everybody I've collaborated with had more expectations, like more of a relationship-y expectation, because I'd collaborate with like one other person, and then they'd want something more, and so it kind of got a little weird. And then like other things was like vice versa, like I ended up like falling for the other person, and it was just this weird like tension there.
So you try to like make something work with somebody you were like romantically involved with, and it necessarily wouldn't pan out.
Yeah.
You know, I see that a lot too with women in music. It's like a lot like there's always like trouble with the guys trying to separate the relationship from the creative collaboration. I had a lot of friends like that too, you know. So that's an issue that needs to be. I think that's an issue that needs to be addressed. And I've met couples who work together creatively, but they know how to separate the relationship from the creative creation process. So I think you're doing better. I think seeing I've grown up and seen like kind of your little journey with your relationships, and I think learning how to stand on your own is going to be like your best thing for you. So yeah.
I think a lot of people are more interested in solo artists nowadays too, especially when you go to like pop music. And I get what you're saying about like traveling with an electronic setup, because I've noticed like people in techno or like ambient music, they'll jump and like go fly to Tokyo just to play one show, or fly to Paris. It's really easy to do that versus being in a band. Yep. If you're in a band, you're going to try to make a tour around
like
it.
A U-Haul, getting a U-Haul.
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, just trying to make a band work, you know, and, you know, like, you spend a whole year doing very little as far as, like, making music. Yeah. I play in a band right now. I'm playing in, like, a hardcore punk band that's, like, kind of got, like, some death metal sprinkled all over it with 2 other guys, but, you know, like, both of them are bartenders, and I'm a student, and, like, we have to meet somewhere in the middle with our scheduling. So like we usually meet up.
Because you're busy during the day and they're busy at night.
Yeah. And so, and they pick up, they work 2 jobs, you know, so they have to pick up quite a lot of shifts. And so when we do meet up, you know, it's like, see, this is the thing I'm trying to do about like, you know, trying to like not step on anybody's toes. I'm like, I've decided it's like, I get like what I want as far as creative control with this other stuff I'm doing. So in this band, it's like I come up with riffs, but I'm not trying to control the creative process with the band. That's actually what our bass player vocalist is kind of doing. Like I'm coming up with stuff, but our bass player is the one kind of leading the way as far as like putting songs together, or like or like our practice routine. It's slow. It's really slow, but I think it's worth it in terms of like the end result. It's probably going to be like fucking another year before we even are ready to play shows, but we have like 5 blueprints for songs.
Yeah.
We're almost there. Yeah. Oh my God. So
when I was in bands more, I would rush things almost where we'd start a band and then 3 weeks later play our first show.
That's sometimes necessary though, because like when you're
We got a
young,
good opportunity that way.
Yeah.
We got to open for the body. The time that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think when you're young though, that's what needs to happen. People like need to like get out there. I think now that now that all the people I've been with have already gotten through that phase, it's like now it's about like staying in your cave forever and getting some good shit. Like right now, like what Sarah's doing is I want to bring up the Tinder thing. Can you bring up the Tinder thing for yourself?
I guess.
She's using Tinder for her music. Can she elaborate a bit about this?
With that? Okay, so I downloaded Tinder a while back, just like for like the normal reason to like hook up with people and shit. But then I realized that you can get like a 1-month subscription and see like you could swipe in different places in the world. So using that to my advantage, I started like swiping in different like areas of the country and then also like all over the world, and then like connecting with other musicians, and then collaborating like with different ideas and like asking for constructive criticism from all these different musicians. And I've discovered some really cool shit on the way, so it's been really helpful, to be honest.
Can you like explain some of the experiences you've had?
Not really sure exactly which ones to bring up in particular, but I've gotten some really good criticism from people. So
yeah, talk about the last show you went to at Kava Lounge.
Oh yeah. Okay, so one of my new friends, he produces drum and bass as well as grime music. He hit me up on Instagram because he saw me on Tinder, and I have like a link to my Instagram on my Tinder. And then he messages me and he's like, "Hey, you like black metal and you do electronic music? Be my friend." And I was like, "All right, dude." And I was actually going to invite him out to a show over at Space Bar where Rituals and Amon was playing. And there were some big influences back in the day when I really liked Witch House a lot and darkwave stuff. And since he wasn't able to do that because he was preparing for a show of his the next night at Kava Lounge, I was like, all right, no worries, I'll just go to your show. And so I take the trolley down to Kava Lounge, and I have no idea like where I'm at, so I'm there, and there's like an after party, and
there's a lot of trash around Kava Lounge.
I've never this is my first. I enjoyed it for what it was.
This is a new person coming to San Diego who has no idea of the map of the town.
Yeah, so I'm just like here, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go to an after party." I'm like, "Oh yeah, awesome!" I'm like that. I'm so stoked, meeting all these new friends. Great. And I thinking it was like in town. I was like, okay, I'll go with you guys. I'll ride with you guys. And so they're driving, and like I'm drunk. I don't know where I'm going, and we're driving around. I'm meeting new people, going to new places. And I was like, "Oh, great! This is fantastic!" And wake up. And I find out I'm like a 30-minute drive away from the downtown San Diego.
Yeah, she's like, I was like asleep and like checking in with her, but like I wasn't like quite awake enough to like ask like, "Where are you? Can you just Google my house and see how far away you are?" And it wasn't until like I got up the next morning at like 2 p.m. that I found out she ended up in Escondido. And yeah, so yeah, it sounded like she had an adventure.
I played a show in Escondido once. I probably never will again. We had gear stolen there.
I played. It
was at a YMCA.
Oh, that was
and the dude's head got busted open in the mosh pit, so they shut down the show like 2 bands after us.
I played Escondido and had a great time. There used to be.
Did you play Metaphor?
No, I played the Safe House.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the Safe House. For anybody who's listening and doesn't know, the Safe House was like one of the only places that was doing punk shows for a while, and it was this small farm kind of property out in rural.
Oh, one of the ranch houses.
Yeah, ranch houses. There was two houses, one in the front and one in the back. And then there was like a chicken coop, and then across the street was the horse ranch, and like you could run these shows till like 2 a.m. Yeah. And it was always free, and it was always a crazy ass party, and because it was like out in the middle of fucking like nowhere, we could run some serious noise, and unfortunately it just kind of shut down recently. So yeah, that
I went to a ranch house show in Temecula once with Jaron. It was like in a 5-car garage, and we were parking all our cars on the dirt.
Yeah, that's what we do too. That's what they do at the safe house too. Is like there was this huge backyard that that they just asked the cars to pull into.
Yeah.
You know, there was a bonfire all the time. I went to a lot of shows out there, so I wish they did more like electronic. I wish they did other shows. I wish they really did other shows, and I was trying really hard to like break other sects of the scene into there, but I kind of picked up that
like some of the Chape people were kind of against Safe House from what I remember.
Oh yeah, it wasn't very PC.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not surprised, but yeah, I picked up really quickly though that that you don't go to the Safe House to book a show. The Safe House goes to you to book a show, and that's how they were able to do it for so long. But god damn, were those shows great. So,
I think Amigo the Devil played there.
Yeah, they did.
And had a big audience.
I was there for one of those shows. So, oh my gosh.
He's playing Brick by Brick soon.
I saw him at the Moreau with Old Man Wizard.
Even though he's from San Diego, I saw him play in Tucson.
Cool. Yeah. So let's talk about backgrounds too. We're all I wanted to bring this up too because we all kind of have like we all have different backgrounds and like where we come from. So like I'm at school right now, like trying to go for like my associates in music, and Ian's like been kind of like been learning through like real life experiences, and like you're kind of new to the game, but like you're still like. What I picked up from Sarah is that like, you know, she's even though she's new and doesn't like have that much training like musically, but she's still got like a really good ear. Like I wish I'd like to show like some of her music eventually, but like yeah, I was showing her, looking at her music and like analyzing it, and like her songs check out like harmonically, but like that's not what she's thinking about. She's just using her ears. So like yeah, Ian, what's like your kind of background as far as like training and education?
I've gone to community college for years. I got a certificate in audio engineering and production from Miramar. Took a music class at High that taught me like a little bit about guitar, just like a few chords in the Simpsons theme. I've learned a lot of production on my own. I started recording my own music in high school through like really basic means. I started with Reaper, and that's still the program that I like the most. I mess around with Ableton a little bit. Yeah, YouTube tutorials are important. If you can't like afford education or you don't have the time, you can watch YouTube videos, and people will go over every element of production almost.
Sarah.
All right, so like I said earlier, I did play violin and viola for a few years back when I was younger. Like I said, I threw it all away for a while, and so I basically had to reteach myself everything. I picked up the guitar for a little bit, but I didn't really play it that much. There was like a year where I did play it quite a bit, but I never really actually learned how to play guitar. I would just kind of riff around, and I had like a 2-piece Doom drone project for like a month. That was pretty neat. Yeah, and then when I moved to Spokane from Missoula, Montana, I met my friend JT, also known as Royalty, that's his producer name, at a Guitar Center because that's where he worked. I was just curious. I was going into Guitar Center to their pro audio like area because I was like, oh, I want to just check out and see what kind of equipment they have. And then we started talking, and then he asked if we wanted to collaborate on a song, and then the rest is history.
Yeah. We're thinking about like possibly making a song together.
Nice.
Tuesday. We thought about like you too, if that was something you'd be into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I have good news. They'll never hear this anyways, but the neighbors who complained about the noise at one time, they just sold their house and moved away.
Oh, fuck yeah. God.
Yeah, what we found out too is they stole one of our trash cans, so my dad's gonna get it back soon.
Hey, talk about those neighbors real quickly for a second.
I tried to throw a house show last year and it didn't go so great, so I've thrown like multiple house shows here, maybe 4 or 5, and like we've even opened up the back door of the house and let the sound go outdoors, and it was fine when these neighbors weren't here. They lived in this neighborhood when I was a kid. They moved to, I think, Missouri or Arkansas for a while, and then they moved back, something about work. And, yeah, they just decided to sell their house again. last February, anyways, do a house show. Very last minute, like booked 5 bands. This was the day before that I set it up, and like it was actually a pretty good turnout. I played a set. My friend James played an experimental set. Battery Point was playing, and the drums were the last straw for this neighbor. She came up to the house. She tried ringing the doorbell. I wasn't answering, of course, because of the noise. And she came storming into the backyard, like on me.
Keep going.
On my property. I'm getting wrapped up here.
The thing I said was, so like he showed me the angry letter that she was saying, and like the one thing that stood out to me was when she like said in all caps, so loud, so loud.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. I thought you were telling me I was too loud right there.
No.
I got tripped up.
Loud.
Yeah, she came here and complained. She said she was going to call the police at like 9:30. I thought it was 10, and she was saying it was 10. She was lying. And I just decided to shut down the band so she would go away. And people were still hanging out for a while. There were like 3 people who stayed here until like 3 a.m. or something. We got tacos late at night.
What was that show?
She sent I think my mom sent a follow-up email, or that neighbor did. And that's where you saw that. I posted that up.
What show was that? Who'd you book?
Battery Point, Tindissel Assessi in a fake, my friend James's project, Cheap Windows. Bad Kids was supposed to play, they didn't. I think they still sold a lot of merch here though. And then there was one more band. I think Headstone, pop punk band. Just reached out to people on my Facebook friends list. I was like, hey, I have the house to myself. Let's throw a show.
I want to call those types of shows now the Gumbo Show. You know what?
Oh, for a mixed bill.
Yeah, I want to call those Gumbo shows now.
Maybe that's what they're called in Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm going to call them Gumbo shows now. I'm going to call it Martin's Gumbo Hour. My first house show I threw was near San Diego State. It was a vegan mac and cheese tea party.
What?
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it was the first time I like dealt with 1039 and Rainier, and it was also like it was the first time I booked a hardcore show. It was 3 of the bands shared Rainier. It was remember that one, Stopping Power,
yeah,
Tan of 4, and I think that was it actually.
Was he in Rosicrucians, or was that just members of Sleepwalk?
That was Alberto. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So it was Rosicrucians, Sleepwalk, Remain in Vain, and
was there a touring band?
No touring bands, all locals. Yeah, simpler times.
When San Diego house shows were good. Now there's not that many.
No, there's not that many. I found out because of cops.
Yeah,
it's the police.
Oh, they're probably on Facebook looking for all of them.
It's the police now. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So before, like I remember before it was just hearsay. Yeah. It was just all hearsay. You know, it's like there's a show. You want to go? And then it's just so. Mm-hmm. And before like events were a thing too, you just post a flyer. You know, so.
And I did for my birthday. I booked a house show with my friend Elizabeth at their house. And that was really cool. Yeah. I loved it. I loved their venue. Yeah. It had like a big like mirror wall, and it was just all like medieval looking too.
Yep.
Super cool. Yeah, we had a psychedelic rock band. We had who else did we have play? We had a couple other friends' bands play, and then an electronic DJ at the very end to close out the night. And apparently it just like got to a point where he was really annoying and trying to get everybody high on coke.
Oh yeah, and Elizabeth told me about it.
Yeah. DJ Snapback. Never again.
DJ Snapback?
That's what we called him. Very, very fondly. And then he ended up in a coked out rage breaking the windshield of Elizabeth's big brother's truck.
Holy shit. Yeah, you guys played Montana or something?
Me?
Yeah, no.
No, Elizabeth was trying to book him to her place.
Oh, when we were trying to tour.
Yeah, and then I had to give up that tour because of my health.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting Montana house show story.
Yeah, house shows are great. I liked house shows a lot, and it was the one place to like actually get tapped into like bands who were from the town, because I was really annoyed with a lot of my friends back then, because it was like all they gave a shit about was music that wasn't from here or from 20 years ago. I had a friend who had this really unhealthy obsession with like grunge in the 90s Seattle, and that's just like ew for me. I love Soundgarden, I love Nirvana, and I love like the Melvins and Tad, but like I also don't have like this escapist hard on for them.
Yeah, local bands were important to me too.
Yeah.
Age of Collapse, Sleepwalk. I saw both of them a lot of times.
I still look back fondly on the whole the Age of Collapse Bird and the Beast release show back at fucking Steinhouse, yeah.
Yeah, I bought the record there.
Yeah, my first time there too was like I saw a band from Ireland, of all places there.
Which band?
Bacchus or something.
Oh, right.
Like a crust band from Ireland doing fucking that shit. That was a show too where like Sleepwalk Alberto played fucking in McDonald's when he was still working at McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
I saw him play a show in his McDonald's uniform before.
Yeah, house shows are great. One thing I picked up too is like if you do house shows, you're almost better at like booking at like quote unquote real venues or like just more like professional ones. They're a great place to like. They're a great place to like flex yourself and like learn like your skills if you want to like operate in like a sort of music industry. And I learned that like anybody who wasn't tapped into the shows had a harder time getting their band off the ground. You know, so anybody who wasn't interested in them, like none of them I know like do anything for real now. So yeah, I miss house shows.
They're so fun to play.
Yeah,
there's so little pressure.
There's no pressure. You don't have to worry about like being tight or like even or getting paid or like having to pay somebody. You just playing. It's a great place to just like learn your craft. I'm gonna do it again eventually. House shows. It's gonna happen again. I went to a house show in Barty Logan like 3 or 4 like last year. Pretty cool. There was a lot of kids there. Kids are really hungry for shows right now.
Is Lemon Grove scene still active?
Lemon Grove scene is active all the time, but like they stick to themselves. They really stick to themselves. It wasn't like the last time they weren't was like when I was booking at my church for a while. So yeah, God, that was crazy. It was good, but like because it was good, I had to stop doing it because like it ended up being like hundreds of people there, and there's like 15-year-olds skating all over campus. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the way I liked that the church show I went to with, I think, Haruka playing was like Ian from Haruka told everybody to stop skateboarding, and that's ridiculous.
I asked him to do that, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought maybe like they would pay attention to the bands, you know.
I thought that was of his own volition. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. It's not his job. It's his job to play. Not tell people to stop skating. Ugh, but yeah. Those shows were successful. The first one there was I booked a band from Connecticut, Empty Vessels. Yeah. Booking shows is fun. Now what?
Just recording in our bedrooms.
Yeah, recording in our bedrooms. What is everybody doing right now as far as like what are like some things you're working on? Sarah.
Writing a disgusting amount of songs that will never be finished.
Yeah.
Or will probably be finished later, eventually.
Yeah.
My problem is finishing songs too soon to where, like, I'll have 2 or 3 albums in a month.
Yeah, no, that's basically what's going on. Like, they're technically finished, but they're, like, rough drafts, and I feel like I can always push them farther and make them more interesting. However, that tends to hold me back from actually releasing things because I'm holding on to them so much.
Yeah, you either like hold on to it and keep reworking it, or you release it like soon because you're impatient, and then you go back and you're like, I wish I would have mixed this differently.
Yeah.
I wish I would have cut the song so on and so forth.
I have a unique problem. I've been working on the same song for like 3 months. Down to every like I said, I'm working on a Latin jazz piece for a 6-piece band. So guitar, bass, drums, and tenor and alto saxophone. So and the tenor and the alto saxophone and the tenor saxophone. The tenor saxophone has counter melody going on with another melody with the alto. And the thing that's like killing me and like I'm like scratching my head constantly is just writing the melody and like having it like having this logical, this very logical process with a logical end with an A part and a B part. I'm trying to like imitate like the structure of a jazz standard, and then there's the tenor line trying to counter melody it, and on top of that, I'm like trying to like make interesting chord progressions. Yeah. One thing I'd like to pass on too is like there's this like when I was reading books about like creative process, there's this really cool saying that I picked up really well. It was that art is never finished, it's just only abandoned, you know. And one thing that like helped me kind of let go of like, you know, this perfectionism with my art is that like, well, like I can save like the next, then I can save my improvements for the next piece, because I've never ever been 100% satisfied with anything I've ever done, but I've also been cool enough to like just like let it go and take what I learned from that to like the next part. I still have like that. Remember the tape from my crust band, like ｃиρrrουs? Like I'm not happy with everything I did there, but at the time I was really satisfied with the end result. It was we did a lot of work into it. It was the best I could do at the time, and now I'm like, now it's today and I can do so much better, but I'm like happy with it. I still put it out. I still like finished it, and that's like all that matters. Same with like the last band I did, Cryptic Languages, like that first like 3-song EP we did, like far from satisfied with it, but like it's there. And like over time it's just a build up, you know. You can always make another really badass song.
Yeah.
So that's something I would like suggest if like that's something you guys struggle with, you know, because it's like, yeah, just make another song. It's like Bill Kelleher from like Mastodon says the same thing too. It's just like, if you don't like what you do, right, just make another.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, I mean that's what I keep doing with Cheap Windows. I have over 100 songs for that now. I think I've held back like 2. And on my wishes, we were putting stuff out pretty fast as well. We were only together for a year, screamo band I was in. I looked back and like I didn't like some of the recording quality and the songwriting, but the end result was it enabled us to get a lot of shows and do a lot of year time span.
That's what matters. You can always make better songs too.
Yeah.
I pulled up the raw audio from the old ｃиρrrουs recording. Like that was never mixed or mastered from what I gave to you for the tape, and I'm trying to remix it. I'm also too like I'm trying to get to this point where like I'm not right. I still have like we're still working on carved numbers.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate example of perfectionism.
Yeah.
The EP was already kind of released like in 2013.
But yeah, I'm almost done with it. I just need to pick up the bass again. I have it all down. I have a really good bass we can use now. We have really good amp sims, and we have a really good like fucking drum sampler. So that's gonna sound badass once I get down and finish it. It's the only thing keeping me from finishing my guitar part is the bass part. And I'm trying to get to a point where it's like I'm trying to get to a point where like I'm not writing, just mixing and mastering, so I can finish all that and then go back to writing new songs. So yeah. That's really cool. Have you guys ever read The War of Art? Like,
no.
That's a really cool book that I would like recommend for you guys. It's such an eye opener, because you'll have like, if like, especially when you're this far along doing your stuff, you just read it and you'll be like, oh, I get that. I kind of get that. Yeah. Oh, and like it calls you out on some of your bullshit. So
right now I'm reading The Radium Girls. That's a good book.
Yeah.
It's about these girls in New Jersey and Illinois in like the 1920s, where they were painting with radium, which is radioactive, on watch dials, and they would use their tongue to like make the brush work the right way, and they got like radiation sickness, all sorts of like deformed mouths and stuff, and like they pushed forward lawsuits that changed like the working standards in the U.S.
Because they decided to paint with radium?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they would get it like all over their dresses and stuff, and some of them would even do this on purpose. Like they would put it all over their bodies because they thought it was safe, and they would like glowing on the dance floor. So they would look like ghostly.
Okay. So it was kind of a happy accident.
Yeah.
When they got like...
Yeah, like they didn't know it was so bad for them, and then like all of them like kept dying off, but like some while they were like in-depth throes were like pushing forward lawsuits to hold the companies accountable.
Well,
once they knew that was the
yeah.
trigger.
We were convinced, though, at one point that nuclear power was the future.
Yeah.
You know, we saw it as like this. It's like this. We don't need to worry about power anymore. We have nuclear power.
Yeah, and I mean, nuclear power is better than coal and some other ways of getting energy. It's just dangerous with like earthquakes and tsunamis.
Yep.
You shouldn't be putting them right on the coast. And there's a problem of nuclear waste. Nevada doesn't want to take it. And that's like the place that makes most sense to deposit it. It has a half-life of like 6 million years or something.
Yeah. We need to just shoot it into space.
Yeah.
We need to use Mars for nuclear power. Got anything to share, Sarah, about art and roadblocks and stuff? Sarah has a degree in art. Like
I mean, I don't know. I just do things, man.
you just do things.
I just do things and stuff. I'm a professional stuff doer.
Stuff doer. Yeah, I'm a stuff doer. I'm a doer of stuff.
I am a doer of the stuff.
Yeah.
The double stuffed Oreos.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I just like create things on impulse now. Like I don't really have a set plan because if I like plan for it, it just does not go the way I envision it.
Yeah.
'Cause I've always wanted to make dark wave and like witch house stuff, but now I make really upbeat whatever it is. So I don't know.
Lately, with my training in musical theory, I've kind of like learned how to like. I know I feel like I'm more in control now of like what I want to do. So if I want to do something like I want to make a dope ass doom song in the theme of Ohm. I know exactly what techniques to use. I want to make a mathcore song. I know exactly what techniques are used with that. A lot of Latin stuff. Is
I
really
guess like my
useful for
biggest
that.
thing. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
I guess like my biggest thing is I'll put a riff down and then I'll think, oh, this doesn't really go with the style I'm working with, so I create a whole new song off of that riff. So that's a big thing that I go through.
I like to challenge that though too. What I would probably do in a situation like that is just like fuck this style. Fuck this style. Yeah.
Yeah, I've like tried writing an album or EP and I get like 2 songs down and I'm like, this style doesn't make sense at all. You're either trying to combine too many things or like make it too minimal.
Yeah, most of my stuff recently is very cohesive in how it sounds. So I'm definitely thinking about compiling them together into an EP or something, depending on how many songs I get finished. The other stuff is sounds kind of really one-off, like different synthesizers are used and just like different feels and whatnot.
Cool, yeah. You know, like right with the stuff I'm working on right now too, like I can stay focused on like a type of feel and style that I work towards, but I'm like I know how to like incorporate another type of music into it. So it's like for me it's like about like the technique another type of music uses to like add to that. So even though the song I'm working right now, even though it's like a Latin song, I'm using like a lot of stuff that like I learned from like bebop and like big band and even like some heavy metal stuff too. So yeah. No, goddamn, creation's a bitch. So, does anybody have like any goals for the end of the year as far as like creative stuff goes?
Actually release stuff.
Yeah.
Get all 3 collaborations out that I'm tied to. I've done my end of it. It's just waiting on other people, really, which I don't blame them. Like some of them are really busy. And then also, this is like tangentially related to music, but it's like still part of Cheap Windows is I want to make like a legit website and like move off of Facebook, maybe like create a mailing list or something and get people to join that. Google Calendar for shows or something.
I fully support that. Actually, we're talking when I took composition. Our professor, Dr. Ramstrom, the infamous Dr. Ramstrom, talked about like building a website versus just having a SoundCloud or a Bandcamp or a Facebook page, because it's your domain. It's your it's just all about you in those situations. With that, I need to do that too, because I have like other things that I want to do other than just making music. I'm trying to like put myself back out there as a teacher, a freelance performer, and like a producer as well. So. But like I'm waiting for my piece of paper from school, and I'm gonna need more money anyway, because I'm trying to go into like university to study like either composition or jazz studies. So, oh my god! But yeah, website's a good idea. So.
Yeah, it's easier now than it has ever been.
Yeah, and like and Facebook's like asking people to like pay for their promotion.
Yeah, that's been going on for a long time.
So it's like, well, by then, like you might as well just like buy your own domain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think it's a little bullshit and a little bit I think it's a misuse of their power. I think. Yeah. I personally think so.
Yeah, I've had better success with promotion by actually connecting with people and talking to them and like asking them about their projects, and then just swapping information.
And Instagram's starting to become a better, a more useful platform for promotion as well. So
yeah, I mean, if on Instagram, if you collect gear, if you have new gear coming in all the time, you're gonna do well there.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, I think I've booked a show through Instagram before. A lot of people message there, which is a little bit weird for me, but I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah, people don't have Facebook. That's why.
Oh yeah.
So they don't have. So.
I got asked to play a show through Twitter while I briefly had one, which I didn't play the show anyways.
Right. God. Remember MySpace?
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Top 8.
I just said that too when I talked about it the other day.
Martin, was I in your top 8?
I don't think.
No, you had a MySpace. I remember you had a MySpace.
Probably.
For a very minute, amount of time.
Probably.
I kept deleting my MySpace and remaking it because I was
So probably not then.
Probably not.
Probably not, because it kept being deleted. So I remember I would see my top 8 be my top 7. Like, where'd Sarah go?
MySpace had the thing on that was better than Facebook pages, in that bands could put music up there and you don't have to go through a second link. You just play it on the MySpace page.
The MySpace player. Only issue I took with that was I wanted the album. I wanted to look at the album. I leaned more towards albums too, but to get a preview of a band, it was helpful. Yeah, that was a social media thing though, all over. Remember Pure Volume? And
oh yeah,
it was the same thing with MySpace player as well. It's just it's not about it's about it was about the preview that would entice you to buy the album. Yeah, problem with that though was I was broke all the time, so I needed
And bands stop making Reverb Nations.
Oh God, Reverb Nation! I love Reverb Nation because of the promise. Reverb Nation is you'll make money off of this. Not.
Nope.
Yeah.
Martin, do you have any music on Spotify yet?
No, I don't. I'll get there. If one of my bigger long-term goals is to put out my first jazz album as a solo artist, and that's going to be on Spotify. Yeah. One of the things I'm trying to figure out too is I don't want to rip off anybody who helps me do this. So if I get a paid performance with this piece that I'm working on, I'm probably just going to give the money to them. But
the website I use most recently is Sounddrop. It's free. Sends it to the 5 biggest stores, and you can put in, they actually require you to put in songwriter credits, so you could divvy up the percentages of who did what on there.
I think for this piece I'm working on, my friend Carlos, who's going to be the percussionist, he said he wanted to write a line for it. So it's if that's the case, then I'm just going to give him the credit for it.
Yeah.
So, but if it's just performance or recording, I'll just pay people for shows. Oh, I really don't want to be that guy. I don't want to turn into Miles Davis. You can fall into that really easily. Are you familiar with Miles Davis and Kind of Blue? Blue and Green. The song Blue and Green was written by Bill Evans, but it's credited to Miles. And when Bill Evans asked for his fair share on that, he just wrote him a check for $25. Dick move. Dick move. Nope. I don't want to be that guy. You make less money that way, but you keep more friends. So, yeah. Are you on Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be ready. You could do Spotify too. So like, yeah.
You know, once I get everything mixed and mastered.
Yeah. Oh man, that process. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, more people listen to Spotify than Bandcamp. It's good to have like all your bases covered.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Bandcamp have higher quality streaming though?
Bandcamp streams 128 kilobit MP3s on the website. You could download the higher quality ones.
Say if you like purchase the album.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah, Tidal was like marketing itself on having wave streaming over like Spotify and Bandcamp and SoundCloud, all that. SoundCloud decreased their quality last year by a lot.
Yep.
And they still want you to pay for it. Call bullshit.
Yeah, my friend trying to convince me to get a SoundCloud Pro account, but I'm a little hesitant. I don't want to give my money to SoundCloud.
No.
If I had like 400 followers on there, it might be worth it, but I have like 100.
You get it. I feel like you should get a SoundCloud premium account like when you've already established yourself, not to establish yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna be like,
I don't think
money.
you're not gonna get more people like listening just by having like a longer upload time.
Yeah.
I like using SoundCloud to share private links with people on rough drafts.
Yeah, I do that too.
We use SoundCloud in composition to like show our ideas and share our stuff.
Yeah, it's good for drafts.
Mm-hmm. But I
because you can comment, you can do timestamps, comments and whatnot.
Yeah. Like SoundCloud and Reverb Nation are both the platforms I judge you harshly on when it comes to like releasing your music. I don't know how you are, but like if it's like, oh, you don't have, why isn't this on Bandcamp or?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on SoundCloud long enough, and like I found artists there to where I don't really judge people for it. People talk a lot of shit on SoundCloud rappers, but I've actually found some like talented people.
SoundCloud rappers are tight though. I like it's so it's their niche.
Yeah,
but like as far as like putting out like where you would like showcase your albums or your like SoundCloud's good for singles.
If you're a rock band, you should definitely have a Bandcamp. That's like no question.
Yeah. Well, like if it's good for
really,
SoundCloud,
you should have both.
SoundCloud's good for singles. SoundCloud's good for like demos and singles.
Yeah.
For me, in my humble opinion, Bandcamp is where you should go to like upload your albums and share your albums and like share your tour dates. I just think that site is better for that. And then SoundCloud is like great for like, you know, hey guys, here's something I'm working on.
Yeah, bigger artists always say that they get more money through Bandcamp too than SoundCloud. I think there like used to be a way to monetize SoundCloud. Maybe you still can.
Yeah, like, yeah, no, the
website
like should
change.
The website should serve you, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, because it's the artists that are giving that website the business anyway. So there's that. Oh God. Well, is there anything else we should talk about? You have any other things you wanted to say? Sarah needs to bring some stuff up.
I'm awkward, man.
All right.
This is pretty short so far. We could go longer.
Yeah, we can.
I mean, just keep asking.
It's only an
questions.
hour.
Oh my God, yeah. What's the worst experience you guys had at a show? It can be a show you played or a show you didn't play or just went to. Oh man, none of you guys have.
I'll share two. One's like my most embarrassing, but I still like telling it. And then the other one's just like shitty things happened to us. The Escondido show I already went over had gear stolen, like in the chaos that was like people trying to get out of the venue and like help the guy whose head was split open before the ambulance
Was that
arrived.
the one where Eric lost his bass amp?
Yeah, Eric's bass amp was stolen. Kyle had like drum parts stolen, and they both filed a police report. And then that night, like after everybody was already gone, I realized I had locked my keys in my trunk, and like I had to call my mom to like bring the keys up there so I could go home. I wasn't gonna call AAA for that.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I just waited there for like 45 minutes after it was already empty.
Baby's first band.
Yeah. Baby's first high school band. And then embarrassing story was in All My Wishes when we played a Fontana house show and I got plastered, like blackout drunk. I brought a bottle of tequila there and I was drinking most of it. I was puking all over the place, like dry heaving, and I was in no condition to play. We were supposed to go on at like 3 a.m. anyways. So like the guy who booked the show was, I think, happy that we didn't play because he wanted people to leave at that point. It had been going on since like 7:30 or 8.
Oh, was that on tour?
It was sort of on a tour. It was we were accompanying Straka for shows. So we played the San Diego and the LA, Fontana, and Fresno, just 4 dates, weekender run sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And we borrowed Recluse's gear, or like some of it. I used in a different cab than mine.
When touring, quote unquote, California, at what point is it not a tour? And what point does it become a tour?
I asked the Portland band on this, and they said if you spend 2 nights away from home, it's a tour.
Somebody called that a worker's commute.
Yeah.
One time. So.
I call that a weekender or like weekend warrior thing or something.
I've been like talking to friends too about like how to tour like bigger cities, and I've like been wondering like if is it a good idea to like if you want to go to like Los Angeles County, maybe like play in 3 different areas of the county. And then like if you go to somewhere like the Bay Area,
it's a good idea to play like 2 LA area shows or LA and Inland Empire, because some people in LA are just picky. They won't drive half an hour to see a band.
Yeah,
they won't jump in traffic after they've already been in traffic twice that day.
I noticed the sublets of the community there are like way bigger than. There's way more sublets of the community than there are here. There are sublets here.
Yeah, like LA's 88 cities.
Yeah, LA is 88 cities. I went to the hub for like the math rock scene, which they have quite a lot there right now. Like, so like the math rock is kind of like incestuous with like the gent and progressive rock scene.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. They do it like they're really cool about like all ages shows as well. Like most places that are bars are also all ages shows. So yeah, I don't know where you've been. I don't know if you've been to LA.
When I was really small,
okay.
I couldn't really like enjoy it for like.
Didn't you go there recently?
Not recently.
Or was it Anaheim or something?
Anaheim, yeah.
Okay.
I was in Anaheim for a little bit because my mom's family is originally from there. And still I wasn't really old enough to like go out and like do my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd like to go back to LA at some point when I'm
there's a lot of cool stuff, especially like as far as like electronic music, like everybody, even the people that do like bands like have like some sort of electronic element in their music. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. So like I like that it's got their own thing going on. There's a collective there called Redacted Collective, and they do some really cool shows. They're really cool at putting like show flyers together too. Yeah. They're all anime themed and stuff.
Fuck yeah.
That's great. And then that's just like one part of LA County. I played another show in Long Beach County, and it was more like a private party. So it was my friend's practice space, which when I say practice space, I really mean a small stage with a couch and a soundboard. Yeah. Oh, Ian's just dropped in. Ian, have you heard Redacted Collective?
Nah.
No? Okay, so the math rock community in LA that I was dealing with was Redacted Collective, and they kind of like run shows like that, and like it's all like super fun, like poppy bands with like some electronic elements and stuff, and they have like the best show posters ever. And some of the places they book at are like bars, but they'll also like do all ages shows in the bars. You just have to like have that. I think because like the county's like the whole city's so dense and there's so much to keep up with, it's hard to like keep it all under tabs.
So are they in LA proper or one of the satellite cities?
LA proper. Yeah. It was like really close to downtown LA. So it's the whole county. So what county is like Kyle living in right now? He said
Kyle
Burbank? Yeah, Burbank.
I think he's in Burbank.
Yeah. See, it's a whole other thing in Burbank now. So
yeah, I hung out in Burbank on tour a little bit. We went to a bookstore there that was pretty cool. Movie World something. And it's just like piled with thousands of books overflowing from the shelves.
Yeah.
Lots of movie posters.
There's a lot of books
dusty.
in LA.
And then there's like a Universal Park in Burbank that sucks.
Universal Park? Like,
it's like an outdoor mall sort of thing.
Okay.
With like, just a bunch of bougie shops.
I see. Cool.
Restaurants. Burbank used to be like cheaper to live in LA, and that's not the case anymore, really.
Nice. Yeah, no, LA's kind of getting super expensive to live in, unfortunately. So
it's getting expensive here too.
I was telling Sarah, it's like I live in government housing, so, and my rent is like, it's starting to be like, it's getting there, it's getting up to the $500 range, but yeah, no, like that's like a closet in the rest of fucking San Diego. I have a friend who's like,
yeah, you could pay like $1,000 or $1,200 for a studio apartment.
And then it's like upwards like $700 just to have a room here in San Diego. I have a friend right now who's like living in Golden Hill, and they're splitting a room with someone else, and it's like you're an adult and you're splitting a room. God
my
damn.
friend Roger did that. He paid like $500 a month, or each of them did, for that one room. It was a pretty big room, but I wouldn't want to do that.
No, so. Ugh.
And now he's living in a better place, I think.
Yeah, Sarah's living in a basement.
An unfinished basement.
Yeah. And I saw pictures of this place too, and it's like, it's such a mess.
I just throw shit everywhere.
Yeah. Cool.
I would probably move to Big Bear before I get an apartment here.
Yeah. Spread out. Oh, he's got a cabin up there in Big Bear, and it looks tight. I want to record an album or something up there. Eventually.
My dad built a shed last November too. That would be good for recording. Yeah, because the house is jam packed. It's like 2 beds, 1 bath, and we have so much stuff in there right now.
Yeah,
I have brought my guitar rig there to practice. Nobody cares about noise up there. Of course, there's even like a house on the corner of the forest in like the neighborhood. They throw house shows every Sunday, more acoustic, like low volume stuff, but you can still hear it from our place like half a mile away.
Yeah. Cool. Oh.
I want to play a show up in Big Bear. I want to figure that out. Jaron played a show there.
Nice.
They played a bar, and it was like in the 20s that night, and they all only brought like hoodies, and they were freezing their asses off.
Shit, yeah, no, you gotta.
We've seen negative temperatures out there.
In the winter?
Yeah.
Oh God. What's the coldest it gets in the winter?
Like I guess like -5 is about the lowest. The lowest temperature ever there was 25 below.
Cool.
Nothing compared to the high plains, so.
Oh shit. Okay, so something to talk about so when we saw Rituals, I wanted to talk to the bands. I like talking to the bands. I don't know about you guys, but like as a really social person, I've like taken it upon myself to just like get over that barrier and like talk to like my quote unquote idols. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've talked to like guys like Justin Pearson.
Yeah.
But like what I've done is I just try not to like fanboy. I tried to like just be like, hey, you're just another guy, you know?
Yeah.
I like.
You kind of have to force yourself to be there if you're a really big fan, though.
Yeah. So like I've never told like Justin Pearson like how into his stuff that I've been, but like it's kind of helps him be comfortable around me.
Yeah.
So when we were talking to like Rituals, she was getting money out, and I just decided to like, you know, right ahead, just be like, hey man, we've been like listening to you for like 10 years, and this is the first time we're seeing you. And I told him about like how like she's visiting me for the first time in 10 years. And like, he was like, oh, that's really tight, you know? But like when she came up and like started to talk to him, she was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I've been listening to your music forever.
And then he's just like, yeah.
I like talking to smaller bands. It's really awkward for me like talking to bands I super look up to. What I like to do for small bands is a dick move. I tell them where I got their record for cheaper than they're selling it for.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yes, I've done that like 2 or 3 times.
Who was that?
I told that to Todos Karan. I told that to State Faults and maybe like one other screamo band. I was like, yeah, I got your record for $6 at Amoeba. And they're like, that's a mistake. That's way too low.
How much did they press it for? Like,
Probably more than that.
Did you ever get like an estimate on what it's really worth?
No. I didn't ask them that much.
Yeah.
State Faults, even though I did that to them, they gave me a free shirt.
Nice. That's good. Yeah. How much was the Ritual CD?
15.
$15? Damn. For a CD? Ugh. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty common with bigger bands. Mm-hmm. And especially if they're playing venues where the merch takes the cut. Not that many in San Diego do that, though.
Spacebar doesn't do that. They give them the door and they get to keep whatever they sell. So they said that on at City Beat.
I would bet that Soma takes a merch cut.
Soma asks for merch cuts. I remember like I never wanted to play there because they did that. So
yeah, when I played there, they didn't ask us, but I think they do for touring bands.
Mm-hmm. It's bullshit. You didn't press. Did you? I'm sorry. Did you press this? Oh, God. Yeah. So we were supposed to go see Function Bound last night, and we were supposed to go see Russian Circles tonight, but I don't think we're gonna do it.
No.
Yeah. Ugh.